You know, so it had all these fucking, lights and pictures all just coming up on it, looking 3D, like real futuristic. And then out of nowhere, right up out of the center, this elevator basically comes up and opens up, and there's Klitschko. And on the ground, it looks like it's, dropping off into the abyss, and these Tron type steps come out. Dude,
that's some real WWF shit.
Yeah, it was sick. I was just like, what?
And then the Undertaker came out.
Right? Yeah, and hit him with a belt and tombstoned him. Cards last night.
Yeah.
World Series of Fighting.
What was the main event there?
Justin Gaethje. Gaethje?
Let me look it up.
It's a funky last name. And Melvin Gillard.
Okay. See, I didn't even know he got cut.
Well, what's crazy is Melvin had been talking a whole bunch of shit.
Okay.
A whole bunch of shit. I'm an A-list fighter fighting in a B-list promotion.
How'd you end up there?
Exactly, right? Ended up, couldn't make weight.
Oh, really?
Didn't make weight.
Was he fighting at 55?
Yeah, 55. Okay. Didn't make weight. And in order for the fight to go on, Gaethje, however you say it, was like, no, I want half your purse.
That's fair.
Yeah, and so he had to give up half his purse and lost.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
So you deserve it.
Poetic justice, man. All that smack talking. But I guess that show, I only caught a little bit of Bellator last night because UFC was a pay-per-view.
Right.
And, well, World Series of Fighting isn't really on the radar yet, And everything that I was reading, the promotion value, World Series of Fighting might as well have been at the Mendel Center.
Right.
Compared to, I mean, not that that's a bad venue, but you know what I mean, level-wise.
Yeah.
Bellator really brought up their production value with the whole WWE type entrance and shit.
Is that what they're doing now?
Yeah,
with
the ramp.
They need to bring the ramp back to the UFC, man.
And the big screens and the freaking, 3 big screens and the center big screen lifts up and the guys. It was real.
See, that makes
high
it fun
production
for the
value.
fans. Not only does it make it fun for the fans, I wouldn't want to be a fighter walking out with the crowd grabbing my face. Like, how many times have you seen a hat ripped off a dude?
Oh, yeah.
Or like that dude, I think it was David Guerrero, who's a famous dude, but didn't that dude kiss BJ Penn one time going to the ring? Like, that kind of shit, like, dude, I might punch someone going to the ring.
Yeah, I don't want anybody touching me on the way to the ring.
Especially when you're in that mode. Like,
with people afterwards.
Yeah.
Dude, there was just all kinds of fights last night.
I see Yushin Okami got knocked out.
Oh, maybe that was the main event for World Series of Fighting.
David Branch. He's a Renzo Gracie black belt.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's fought in the UFC a few times.
Has he?
Yeah.
Okay. Klitschko fought last night, knocked out some dude. Dude, his entrance was sick.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, dude, like, are you old enough to remember Prince Nassim Hamed? The lightweight that would always have these grand entrances.
No, I don't remember.
He kind of changed the boxing game with his entrances.
Oh, okay.
Dude, Klitschko took it up to a whole different
level.
It was crazy, man. It was, instead of just coming through the backstage, they had like almost like a giant shadow box built. Like when you were a kid and you'd do a shadow box art with a shoe box.
Yep.
It was like that. And it was all, I think it was a screen.
Okay.
So it had all these fucking, lights and pictures all just coming up on it, looking 3D, like real futuristic. And then out of nowhere, right up out of the center, this elevator basically comes up and opens up, and there's Klitschko. And on the ground, it looks like it's, dropping off into the abyss, and these Tron type steps come out,
dude,
that's
some real WWF shit.
Yeah, it was sick. I was just like, what?
And then the Undertaker came out.
Right, yeah, and hit him with a belt and tombstoned him. And
well, when you're a Klitschko, man, and you've been dominating the whole game since you've started,
Dude,
you can do whatever the fuck you want.
that dude hasn't lost in 10 years.
You know who I just looked
And he
up?
steady fights.
That brings up, which kind of off topic, well, it's a little on topic. I just looked this up recently. Jose Aldo hasn't lost in 9 years.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's incredible, man.
Crazy.
Because in boxing, you can kind of get it, man. It's one piece of the puzzle. It's
Right.
arms. That's all you're using is your hands.
Right.
When you're undefeated for 9 years in mixed martial arts, that's a fucking feat.
Yeah.
That's incredible,
Dude,
man.
that's Fedor type
Yeah.
feats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, people don't remember, don't understand that.
Right.
That run. You know, run like Jose Aldo.
Or John Jones.
John Jones.
I mean, he lost to Matt Hamill technically, but he didn't. So that dude hasn't lost in about,
He
I
hasn't
think he's fought
ever.
for about 10 years now.
Yeah, he hasn't
So-
fought, or he hasn't lost,
No.
rather.
No.
I mean, that Matt Hamill thing,
That's
they
yeah.
caught him with the, with the DQ on the 6 to 9 elbows, but that's not what stopped him.
No.
If you watch that fight, it was a shoulder injury.
Yes. Yeah, the
You
throw
know?
from the throw.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Plus, John Jones was just wrestle raping him.
yeah,
You know,
it
and that's
was-
Matt Hamill's game. So what was he really gonna do?
What can you do? You're
Yeah.
when you got one game,
And
when
someone's
you're
raping
one
you at
dimensional
it.
and somebody's smoking you in it, yeah,
What
that-
can you do?
nothing.
That's got to be.
Hope to get caught with some 69 elbows so you can win.
That's about it, man.
Right, I think that's your only option.
That's a bad way out too.
Crazy fights last night, man. All over the board. Great night for MMA.
Yeah, Verdum beat Mark Hunt. Knee.
One.
That was it.
What
That
are
was
they?
basically
Everybody's
his
got
only
a puncher's
offense.
chance, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's got a puncher's chance. And that's exactly why.
Exactly.
You know, that's
Well, here's the thing, though, too, is I didn't watch the fight, but I was wondering, man, do you think they actually trained that? They maybe they saw a weakness for that flying knee to go in and work because of the fact that Verdum is 6'4", Mark Hunt is 5'10". That
Right.
knee's coming up quick.
yeah, and it doesn't have to come far,
Right.
in comparison.
Kind of like when Anderson Silva caught Vitor with the front kick. Like, it was planned.
Set.
You
do you
know,
think,
like
as
the-
far as set up specifically for that fight,
Or do you
I
think it
don't
was
know.
one of those things where it was a scramble, he just launched it up there, and it just happened? Spur of the moment thing.
I don't know. I'm sure he's trained it. As far as the timing thing, when a guy steps in, go ahead and just throw that knee.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it was a flying knee. Again, I didn't catch it because
Right.
$60, man. Who's
hard
got
to sell that
$60 3 times a month
Yeah,
and stuff
dude,
like that?
way too much.
And they had a good free card on Spike.
Right.
So I can get my updates on the underground.
Right.
On MMA.tv.
That's where I saw all the play-by-play on
yeah.
the Verdum fight.
And I can watch some live fighting, so that's what I chose to do. But I guess from everything I read, all the threads that were created, Hunt was putting it on him
Yeah.
the whole time, and then Verdum
He
kissed
dropped
him
him a
with
few
the knee.
times.
Yeah,
Hunt dropped him a few times.
that's awesome. That's what you want.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're
Yeah.
looking for in
Yeah.
Hunt. That fight, and you knew that there was, when you're got heavyweights, man.
Anything can happen.
One shot changes the whole
That's
game.
it.
That's why heavyweights are so popular
Yeah.
in any combat
Yeah,
sport.
there's most likely going to be a finish.
There's mostly, it's just one
and
of
it's going
those.
to be brutal.
One shot can make a difference.
Right.
That's what brings people to the heavy. That's why
True.
Mike Tyson was so loved and feared.
Yeah.
Because one shot. That's
He
all
was
it took.
Vicious. Yeah.
Violent.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm happy for Verdum.
I am too, man. I am too. Plus, he has some Spanish pride in him because he used to. I think he lived there for a little while.
Oh yeah.
I think from what I heard, he lived there for quite a number of
Mexico?
years. No, in Spain.
Oh, in Spain.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
cool.
Yeah, so I mean,
There
that's
you
where
go,
my
yeah,
roots are
right?
from. So that's my dude, And I remember when he would come out in Pride with his gi, he'd always have the Brazilian, the Japanese, and the Spain flag.
Oh, really?
On his gi.
Oh, well, yeah. If he's repping,
Yeah.
you definitely got to roll
Yeah, that's
with
my
that.
dude, man. So
And I think Hunt, short notice fight for a world title. The dude will fight anybody.
anybody.
Huge props, and he ain't going nowhere as a result. I don't think he drops in the rankings as a result of that loss. I think he might even be able to jump some people in the rankings. If you think about it, he wasn't he wasn't being considered for a title shot.
Right.
I
Which,
mean,
look at his record, dude. I just looked at his record before
13
the
and
fight.
9?
No, his record, not his numbers, but who he's beaten lately. Dude, I think he's lost, like, 2 of his last 3.
yeah.
Like, I think the fact that he KO'd Roy Nelson in such a nasty way
Well,
was
his last
the only
2
thing
losses
that, like,
were JDS and Verdum, I think.
And I think he had another one before where it was a draw.
Bigfoot.
I think Bigfoot, yeah.
Bigfoot was a draw. Those are big names.
Yeah, but
Those
he lost.
are big names.
He had 1 win going into that fight. That's you know, and I think the thing is they didn't want to put someone like JDS in there again or those kind of things. Plus, it was a short notice, so not a lot of people.
Exactly.
Are gonna take
JDS needs to kind of recycle back through.
Right.
Heavyweight division is not the same division it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, where it was just the big guys. You had Tim Sylvia and Christian Moorcraft fighting for that.
Right.
You know? These are legit heavyweights. It's not the Brock Lesnar area with these giant monsters.
Right.
You know?
Because remember, everyone was trying to get huge. Remember Frank Mir?
Yeah.
That dude did something fishy. Because that dude put on like 50 pounds of muscle in a matter of like 2 to 3 months.
After all that, I don't know. You know?
That's fishy.
I'm pretty naive when it comes to that. Like the old...
I love Frank, man. I love Frank Mir. Fishy, though.
I don't know how the body works enough, obviously. You know what I mean?
I know you can't pack another man's
35
pounds
of muscle on
in
you
a couple months, dude. That was a radical change.
Unless he just... I'd have to... I'm trying to defend just because I don't have a fat... You know, like I always...
Play devil's advocate.
Exactly. But I mean, you know, when he came back and when he fought Brock the first time and heel hooked him, he was soft.
Oh, he had a little belly.
Little belly. Well, when he came back and fought like Big Nog, and Brock the second time,
he was lean.
And Carwin,
yeah,
lean, big. So I mean, I don't know how much actual weight he gained. You know what I mean? Because he could have been 230.
No, because he leaned out. He was going from, I think he was like in the
240.
mid-250s.
Okay.
When he was still a little pudgy, when he came back from the motorcycle accident. It took him a while to get out of that phase.
Well.
And so he was a little pudgy. I think he was running at like 255-ish.
Okay.
Around there. And then he leaned out and got down to like 242, something like that.
Okay.
And was looking ripped. And then he
Swelled
lost to
up.
Brock. And then all of a sudden this dude was weighing like 280.
And he got trapped.
Yeah, that dude, like, whoa.
Right.
I know you're a big dude, but shit, man. That's a lot. That's a lot of man you just put on.
Milk does a body good, just maybe not that good.
He was chugging gallons. You know what I mean? Like, but always, that's what I love about the heavyweights. Yeah,
and like I said, I think Mark Hunt stays right there in the mix because of the fact it's a short-term fight. And let's face it, rankings don't mean shit.
No, they don't.
Rankings mean title shots are not based on any rankings anymore, or any skill set, or who's the best fighter.
No. Who's going to sell the show?
Who's going to sell? And Mark Hunt's going to sell fights.
He is going to sell fights.
Mark Hunt's going to sell fights.
But here's my
Verdum
problem.
and Kane is the next fight, possibly, you know? I think Mark Hunt gets an opportunity to fight the winner of those. Because of how he took it to Verdum.
I got to disagree, though.
They're going to throw back a chance to redeem himself, I bet.
I don't know, man. Again, look at his record, man. He hasn't won
Well, that's
much.
what I'm saying. Records don't... Look at Chael Sonnen, man. That dude got three title shots
right.
off losses.
You're right. That was terrible. I was pissed about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
But here's my problem is, we talked about this before. Fabricio Verdum used to be an atrocious striker. Just awful. Didn't know distance, didn't know timing, didn't know angles, didn't know anything. He was just going out there basically waiting to grab a hold of you.
And hopefully
then,
cut you in a submission.
Yeah, exactly. He was in Pride at the same time Mark Hunt was in Pride. They were fighting at the same time. Mark Hunt was already a high-level striker at that point. He was, I believe, not long after he ended up winning...
K1 World Championship?
Yeah, K1 Championship. So, I mean, the guy was already a high-level striker, just like Verdum was a high-level jiu-jitsu guy. So they both were basically, at opposite ends of the field, they were masters in their field, right?
Right.
Verdum has now gotten to the point where he's also gotten to the point where he mastered the striking. If you watch the Travis Brown fight, that's a mean show right there.
Super improved.
Yeah.
Super improved, where Mark Hunt's ground game hasn't improved. So
I'm sure he's
the
improved.
involvement.
Well, I'm sure he's improved, but he hasn't put in the time like Verdum has put into striking. And you can tell.
Right.
I mean, the dude got submitted with a Kimura by McCorkle. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
right.
the dude... no, that doesn't happen if you're training hardcore, man.
See, I don't see Mark Hunt as a martial artist.
Right.
The same that I see a Verdum as, say, a martial artist. Mark Hunt's a fighter. He's a
fighter.
Samoan fighter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? New Zealander, you know, what Polynesian, whatever, right? And he's just coming out to knock your head off your shoulders. And, you know, I'm a martial artist, but man, who doesn't love some banging and wanging, you know what I mean?
Right.
I love catching that. And then the fact that Mark Hunt can knock out 80% of the people he fights with an 80% shot.
Right.
You know? That's exciting to me.
It's exciting.
That makes the Verdum fight to me more interesting, because Verdum is a martial artist. How is he going to work around this guy's power and this guy's shots?
Kneecaps.
Because that's what it takes. Well,
Kneecaps.
The answer is knees in this situation, you know?
But here's my problem is I never want... I'm with you. I love watching Mark Hunt fight. I'm a Mark Hunt fan.
I'm a Mark Hunt fan.
I'm a fan.
Huge fan.
But it's like with anybody. When there's a matchup and there's a fighter and there's a martial artist, I always want the martial artist to win, because I feel like they've dedicated and put in more time.
And you're a martial artist.
You get into that art.
That's the whole idea behind martial arts, is to be able to defend yourself.
They're more disciplined,
the discipline.
you know, and it's like you did more to deserve this because you put in more work.
Right.
That's how I feel about it. Now, granted, Mark Hunt's put in plenty of time. The dude obviously has worked on his striking super diligently over the last 20 years. But it's not striking. It's mixed martial arts. It's use whatever you can to beat the other person. That means you got to round your game out. That means you got to at least, if you want to be a champion, that means you got to bring those levels up, man.
Unless you have one skill set that is so far and above.
But
you know what I mean?
Do you think that works anymore? I don't think so. I mean, look at what happened yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, styles make fights.
That's absolutely
Styles make
true.
fights every time.
Yep.
Just like we were talking about in the middleweight division in the UFC. Chris Weidman is tough.
Tough.
Super tough. A highly aggressive wrestle jiu-jitsu combination game. Which is, man, if you're going to have it, if you're going to have grappling and at high levels, and you can take the aggressiveness of wrestling and apply that to that jiu-jitsu as well, dude, that's a dangerous combination.
Yeah.
And his striking, you know, I mean, he's got solid striking, good
Real solid.
fundamental striking.
Real solid.
He throws good combinations. He doesn't find himself out of position. His footwork, all the important stuff. However, styles make fights, and after watching Luke Rockhold and how clean and how he fights with distance,
yes,
and changes his combinations, and the fact that when he beat Bisping, it went from striking to submission instantly.
He's like we were talking about one time. He's an opportunity fighter. He's looking for an opportunity, and he's gonna take it.
Yeah.
You know?
And if he has it, he doesn't take a half an opportunity.
No, he rips it.
He makes the opportunity, sees it, takes it, and walks away with the victory.
Here's the one thing that, because right after that fight, we were talking, and I said, at this point, I see him fighting Weidman, and I see Rockhold destroying Weidman. The thing that gets me is, you listen to a lot of high-level fighters or analysts, they praise Chris Weidman, man. I mean, he's a hard worker.
Super hard worker.
Very technical. The fact that there's so many guys that say he's such a monster must mean that
he's a monster.
Outside of the cage, when he's in the training room, that dude is a fucking beast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they can see it. So when he gets out there, obviously he looks great in his fights. He hasn't lost yet.
Yeah.
But we both know it's in the gym. That's where you really truly earn your respect from other fighters.
And all
right?
those fighters, all those training partners.
Right.
You know, the Matt Serras that are
Yes.
coming in. Like, this guy's... He came in as a white belt and was subbing brown belts.
Right.
You know, natural talent, hard work, dedication, all that. He's got everything. The only thing that I struggle with is the Jersey attitude he's got.
Yeah.
You know, that's he's New Yorker.
Yeah.
You know, just my personal
Yeah.
bias, like cocky motherfucker.
Well, another thing too is he's shorter than Luke Rockhold quite a bit. That's going to be a big reach.
That's going to be interesting. I think they're probably going to probably throw together Rockhold and Jacare
Yep.
next.
Yep. Get the rematch.
Get the rematch, and then the winner of that. Because Weidman,
Is he scheduled to fight anyone?
I don't know. I want to say he was and had to pull out, right? Wasn't he scheduled to fight Vitor?
That's
He's
right.
fighting Vitor.
That's right.
Which...
TRT-less Vitor.
TRT-less Vitor. Which, to me...
That's a weak Vitor.
That's because...
Not because muscle?
Mentally.
Yes.
I think that mentally, you know, you could probably stick a needle in his butt with saline, and he'll be a different fighter.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Just because he would think it would help him? Yes.
Yeah, just the placebo effect.
Maybe that's what his coaches should do.
You know?
Like,
put some liquid Jesus
like,
in him?
Yeah, liquid Jesus. This is TRT that they can't test for yet. And just let him think that. Because why not? You know a trick that Preston used before? Preston is one of the tattoo artists I work with. He used to, because people complain about the pain, you know, and so they'd ask for numbing creams. Now, Preston's old school. He doesn't believe in numbing creams.
They actually have numbing creams and stuff?
Yeah, they kind of work.
Like topical?
Yeah, they kind of work. But his mentality is you earn your tattoo. You know, you get through it.
Supposed to hurt.
Exactly.
That's part of the tattoo.
Right, that's the process. So when people would ask him, he would just get some A&D ointment, which is diaper rash cream.
Yeah.
Mix it with a little green soap, and then he would put it on them and tell them that it was an ointment, numbing ointment. And everybody, he says, would be like, "Oh, I feel so much better."
Dude.
Placebo, man.
Isn't that amazing how strong the mind is?
Give Vitor some fake shit. Let him believe it. Let him go in there like a fucking monster. Let him think Jesus is on his side. And then go for it, man. Because I want to see Vitor fight like TRT Vitor. That's the guy I want to see.
I want to see the Vitor that wheel kicked Luke Rockhold and knocked him out. You know?
Yeah.
With the second wheel kick, because that first one was so ugly.
Yeah.
That first one was like, ooh, don't try that again.
Well, you got to think, Vitor is a lot shorter, though. He was probably just measuring, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Let's go with that.
But Vitor, man, when he gets that look in his face, ooh, but then you also see the look on Vitor's face when he comes out flat right from the entrance. And you're like, oh, this guy's not. This is a different guy.
Who that reminds me of? BJ Penn.
Absolutely. That's best.
You knew BJ Penn's fight, how it was going to be.
Right from
the
the
camera
entrance.
went on him from the entrance.
Yep.
You know, who doesn't love BJ Penn licking the blood off his gloves?
Dude.
That BJ Penn.
He needs to be punching his face. He needs to be giving a few screams. He needs to have those beady eyes looking like he's just about to destroy.
When he ran across the cage and smoked Kel Uno and just let him lay there.
And then
ran out of the cage.
Left.
You know,
they had to tell him to go back.
Yeah. But,
And then he comes out sometimes like he came out for all Frankie Edgar fights where he just comes out like he's super calm. He's just kind of walking like he's going to church. Like that's what he's looking like, you know, and that's not the same guy.
And the last few fights have been like that.
Yeah.
Something, Rory McDonald, it was the same way.
Yeah.
That one sucked. Because I'm not a fan of Rory.
I'm not either. I don't like his attitude.
You know, and where I really lost my fandom of Rory, because his talent is up there.
Oh, super talented.
Was the BJ fight. And it was the whole foot shuffle. Shuffle, showing off.
Right. Well, he's a young kid, too, though. He's young.
And that's the generation gap that I have, that I'm just like, man, show some class.
Right.
You're in there with a legend, show class. Beat him, smoke him.
But at the same time, I kind of get the gamesmanship because it's like, hey, you're a legend. I don't care about that right now.
Fuck your legendary status.
Fuck that. And in a way, because I'm sure afterwards he congratulated him, and backstage he was probably, all very honorable.
I don't know. He seems off.
You think so?
Like maybe socially off. I don't know. Yeah, like
could be. Well, most fighters are in a way.
Just a smidge of autism. He's got that little distant. just distant look in his eye.
Dude, he
and
changed
stuff.
his nickname again.
To the Red Dragon or
No,
something?
the Red King.
Red King.
Dude, that's 3 nicknames in a matter of 2 or 3 years now.
What have his nicknames been?
It was the Water Boy, Rory the Water Boy McDonald.
Like
the
fine
movie.
quality H2O?
Yeah, fine quality H2O.
Mama said alligators all grumpy because they got all them teeth and ain't got no toothbrush to brush them with. Nice.
So
I would
that
change.
was him.
I would change that.
Yeah, I'd be done
nickname
too.
It's the first time they called me that. I'd be like,
No, that's not it.
pass.
Yeah.
I'm
Next.
vetoing that one. Yeah.
Then he went with Aries.
Yeah, I didn't get that one. What was
one,
that? Aries, like the constellation.
like the god, like
Okay.
like the
God of
Greek
War,
god.
or-
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, Greek god, which is kind of cool, but still, it's like,
But you're not Greek. You're Canadian.
Yeah, you gotta go with something
You
that
know?
fits you.
You need to be like maple syrup or something. You know,
Rory
fucking
Maple
the
Syrup
grizzly
McDonald.
bear, something elk.
Right.
You know, Red Dragon's not bad because I guess
Red King.
Red King.
That one doesn't seem to suit him either.
It seems a little Games of Thrones-y.
You know what it
the
is?
Red
Is all
King.
those nicknames seem forced.
Well,
Like he sat down
gave
and thought
himself
about them.
them?
Yes, someone else has been calling him the Red. I read it. Someone else has been calling him the Red King, and that's why he wanted to change it now. But,
Yeah, those are nicknames. I mean,
I never liked nicknames, dude.
I remember when I was boxing in the army. You know, you had to have a nickname. They wanted you on the paper
like the
for
Mauler?
tournaments. Just shit like that, you know. And I was always like, stupid.
Mike the Mauler,
I haven't.
Emmerich.
Yeah. Well, I went out. They started doing Iron Mike Emmerich.
I
one
like
year.
that.
Well,
I mean, it's,
and that was Tyson years, you know,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And so, but still, to use that name, that's, you know. And then for a minute they called me one of the tournaments. It was the dentist because I knocked a guy's tooth out through his
Okay.
mouthpiece and stuff. So that, you know, that kind of fit. But I was never good at nicknames. I'm always, you know, you earn your own. Somebody
Yeah.
nicknames
Yes.
you.
Yes.
You know, and then I remember fighting for Brown Todd Brown down in Mishawaka, and it was you need to have a nickname. We want you to have a nickname. Blah, blah,
Why?
blah, blah.
Why was that a thing?
I don't know. And it was M80.
M80. I kind of like that one.
Which worked, you know.
Yeah.
When Norm said it, like, you hit like an M80, you know. And I was
Boom.
like, boom, that'll work. And then it worked out because, you know, if you spell out M80, M-EIG, it's my initials, M-E. I was like, all right, we'll
Nice.
go with
Okay.
that.
I like
But
it.
that was still like a self-given nickname, and so I was like,
Yeah, but that one's suiting though. I like that. It's original.
it's different,
You know?
right?
Yeah.
Instead of
Doesn't
dynamite
seem
or...
forced. Yeah, like Rumble Johnson fits perfectly. You know, like it's just got a good roll of the tongue. The Red King.
little oh man, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't. It's not presumptuous.
I was gonna say the same thing.
But
like, kind of like
you're an entitled ass motherfucker.
yeah,
You be called-
entitled. Yeah,
Get a strap and then call yourself the
whatever you
know.
want. Even then though, you can't. No, don't do that because that's fucking weird. Like I don't get. Nicknames kind of throw me off, man.
Yeah.
You know who I like? Nick Diaz. Fuck nicknames.
Right.
I'll just fucking go out there and beat your ass. That style. The only ones I do like some of them. Now some of them.
Oh, there's lots of
the
nicknames I like.
ex-murderer. That was
Yeah.
perfect for that guy.
Oh, especially
And no
when
one,
he earned
no
it.
one's used that name, and no one will
Nope.
ever use it again.
Even GSP with Rush. That was
That was.
and
that
he doesn't.
fit.
But he doesn't do that anymore because now he's just GSP.
Right.
He doesn't need a
Right.
nickname.
Even though I like the George Rush St. Pierre thing.
Yeah.
Shogun. Awesome
Shogun.
nickname. I like it.
Prodigy.
The Prodigy. That's fitting.
Yeah.
You
The
know?
Prodigy, Baby J. The
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So those are fitting. The Phenom. Vitor Belfort.
Yeah.
Perfect for, you know.
Iceman.
Right, Iceman.
Those are good ones.
Those fit the person. You know? You start coming in with Aries, like,
Like, oh, let's go in with a nickname.
if you were, like you said, if you were Greek, alright. You know, that's kind of fitting. You know? Like, if it's got to do with your heritage, alright.
Like
that makes
Legionarius?
sense. Yeah, it makes sense. I got a tough time with nicknames, though, man.
Yeah, it's hard. Unless you're at the top of the chain, food
Because
chain, man.
then you got these lunatics, like especially local fighters, Showtime. You know,
How many cripplers and how many pit
oh
bulls are you
Lord,
going to run into?
yeah, right.
You know? And especially when you're not the first one.
Exactly.
You know? Or the best one.
Right. Yeah, if you're the best one, then that's you.
But in able to prove the best, you need to enter the Crippler tournament. If
Right,
you're going for
right.
the Crippler
Just like
nickname.
8 people with the Crippler nickname?
Yeah, and
see who
fight
comes
it
out
out
on top.
All right, now you got the Crippler.
All
Everybody
right.
else got to come up with something else.
Right. That would be fair. That'd be fair.
Dude, that'd be a good promotion. Do like a local one, get a couple guys with the same nicknames, and have them fight and be the battle of the, battle of the title or something like
fuck
that.
weights too. We'll just throw like a 135er against a heavyweight.
Hell yeah.
Like, hey, you're trying to call yourself that. There's one guy.
You said you're a pit bull.
Yeah.
Pit bulls are small and compact.
You might want to go with Chihuahua.
Right.
You're throwing yourself a...
They need to come out with some better ones too, like fucking the honey badger.
Honey badger?
Because honey badger don't give a fuck.
I feel like that's a perfect nickname for Rory.
The honey badger?
I feel like that's fitting.
That's kind of Canadian, right?
Yeah.
That's up north.
I mean, I don't know. It's a
Maybe.
woodland creature.
It's right. It's a little
right.
furry weasel-looking thing, but it's pretty fucking tough.
Right, it's tough. So maybe that's a good one for him.
There we go. I'm just gonna start calling him the honey badger.
Honey badger. All right.
Because he don't give a fuck.
There you go.
Honey badger don't give a fuck.
There you go.
But yeah, good fights, man.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens in the heavyweight division over the next year, man.
If Kane can get healthy, because Kane's held up the division for a while because he just can't get healthy, can't stay healthy.
Right.
And how tough is that, man, for a fighter?
Where you want to fight and you
Where you
just
wanna
can't
fight?
even
Train hard, train broken, and then finally,
Right.
and it sucks because it's usually 3 weeks out,
Right.
4 weeks out. Because for the last 4 months, you've pushed through it. Like, maybe I can get there. Maybe I can get there. Maybe there's no fucking way I can do that.
Yeah.
Because you're still only at 65%.
Right.
Yeah, you can get to the gym. You can do your drills. You can even help with your cardio, but you got to be in there 100% mentally.
Right.
And if your body's at 65%, you cannot be 100% mentally strong. Because you're gonna be thinking about the injuries and this and that, and it brings you down.
Well, you're gonna know. It's not even that you think. It's inside your own mind. You're like, I know I'm not gonna be at my full potential. I know I'm not gonna be able to give what I want to give.
I'm missing tendons. I have a
Right,
torn
right.
muscle. Stuff like that.
Yeah,
it
can't do anything about that.
can't do anything. And then even after a surgery and the recovery,
Yeah, that's tough.
it's tough. Fighting's a hard sport, man.
Very tough.
I was watching ESPN, or not ESPN, but 30 for 30. You know how they have those documentaries on right now they're on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And one was they did one called Broke about all these
I didn't see it, but I
millionaire
saw the
athletes
thing. Yeah.
that go broke. And one of the things they were talking about is how, specifically with the NFL, between the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball, the NFL's the lowest paying sport between those three.
And that's the shortest lifespan too, right?
The shortest lifespan, and the only contracts that have no guaranteed money.
Wow, that's so tough, man.
And they were talking about how it's the highest, it's the most dangerous game that's played. And instantly, where do I go? I'm like, no, it's not. It can't be. Then I started thinking about it. Yeah, it can be, because it's a game.
Right.
A fight is not a game.
That's
a fight's
true.
a fight.
That's true.
That's the most dangerous thing to be in, because that's a fight.
Yeah, but at the same time, it is kind of true. You're getting way more head trauma in football games than you are in an MMA
We were
fight.
talking about, was it yesterday we were talking about it?
Yeah.
Take the pads away.
Yeah, because if not, you're basically making these guys go, okay, I can go full blast like a pickup truck at you and try to hit your fucking head with my head.
Because I'm padded. I have a super suit on.
But you know what? The guy that's getting the hit, and possibly even the guy hitting, you're both still rattling the fuck out of your brains.
Dude, yeah. That impact is still there.
It's vicious. It's
So
inside. It's still going on in there. The
that
brain's still
energy,
moving.
That energy, once the collision, just like when you send two atoms through the Hadron Collider,
Right.
when those hit, there's an energy burst, boom, and a shockwave that goes through. Same thing happening. That has to go somewhere.
Oh, what's
science?
What's absorbing the shock? Your
brain,
fucking brain,
body, all that.
Your
internal
neck.
organs.
Yeah.
We're not designed to launch ourselves like that. You know, and that's why they add the padding to protect themselves.
They're not
You want to
protecting
protect
anybody.
themselves? Take away the helmets.
Yeah. At first, people will be getting injured left and right. Within a couple of years, people are going to realize we got to change our technique.
It'll adjust.
Yeah.
You know,
We
and the
can't
game
go
of
like
football
that.
change. You won't have 350-pound linemen anymore.
No.
You'll have 260-pound linemen
Lean.
that are lean and moving quickly.
Quick moving. Yes, exactly. Because we were
It'll
talking
look like Australian rules or rugby.
Right.
Those guys are huge.
But that's never going to sell over here. You can't go backwards now, right? Because
Yeah.
people are already attracted to the fact that it is guys that are 3 times the size of the regular guy.
We love the
launching
idea of the
themselves at each
superhero.
other. Yeah.
We love comic books.
Yeah.
Why do you think pro wrestling's so big?
Right.
We love comic book superheroes,
Exactly.
physique type things.
That's why everyone loved Overeem for a while.
Yeah. Ubereem.
Because that dude, look at Overeem now, and like when I see him fight in fights now, I'm like, oh, he's big. He's a big, strong dude. But I remember watching him 4 years ago, and I was
Dream.
like,
When
that
it was
dude,
winning Dream and
who is that? Like that is not even real.
I still have a hard time because I still see the 205 pounder that
Right.
Chuck Liddell knocked
Right.
out in the Pride tournament.
Shogun knocked him out a few times.
You know? And then to see this guy at 100 pounds, 60, 70 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
Now he's tall. He's 6'5", so
He's a tall guy.
you know, so 40 pounds of muscle on his frame is legit, probably. But what he put on was nuts, dude. Beyond nuts, because it was muscle stacked on top of muscle.
Yeah. Like he
Yeah.
had muscles I didn't even know existed.
Right, just like, oh,
Where did that?
What did that
How do
come
you get
from?
that? What do you do to get that muscle?
yeah, he's got these traps on his shoulders, and then something sticking out on top
Yeah.
of that, you know, like a cobra shield.
It's like the dude had a football shoulder pads on,
Yeah,
but that was his body.
yeah, yeah.
Like it was in his arms. His arms were like tree trunks.
It was crazy. And abs.
Ridiculous. Yeah,
And a
abs.
6-pack of abs.
He had a 12 pack. That dude
Yeah.
had a 30 pack.
Yeah.
You know what I
right?
mean?
A
Like,
cube.
yeah.
Yeah, a Miller Lite cube
Yeah.
of abs.
Yeah. That was outrageous. But that's why they like.
But we like it, man.
Yeah.
We like it.
I'm
we
not gonna
like
lie,
home
I like
runs.
watching it. I
we like
seeing
home
it.
runs, and that's why we love Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire, you know? And they were juiced the fuck up, you
Yeah,
know?
they were. Yeah, when your head can't fit in the helmet it used to fit in,
Right.
something
It's
was
crazy.
going on there.
What's funny, though, as soon as we find out that they're juicing or on gear,
Then we get mad at
turn
him.
on 'em.
Yeah.
we turn on them. You're a cheater. I've been cheating the whole time, and you loved it.
Yeah.
Well, that's because we didn't know.
Right.
We want honest sports.
Right.
No, we don't. We don't want honest
No.
sports.
No.
We want to be fans
We want
of our
numbers.
team. We want numbers,
That's
man.
it.
We're
That's
a
it.
selfish society.
It's true.
Please me.
It's true. But then, like we were talking about with the pads, it's the same thing with MMA. Is you take away the gloves, it seems way more brutal, and it would get more cuts, which is the only thing that kind of throws me off, and I don't know which way to stand on it, is because there would be a shitload of cuts.
Yep.
Faces would be fucked up every fight pretty much. But in all reality, when you're hitting someone without a glove and tape all up in your hands, you can't hit them as hard, or you will shatter your hand every time.
Well, and it's that what it is it's that false sense of confidence that glove and that taped up hand provide. Oh, this is a brick.
Yeah.
Now I can throw 108% into it. Well, when you throw 108% into it, you're compromising technique and the proper way to punch.
Right.
You end up punching with your 2 small knuckles and shattering your hand because you're throwing everything into it. I think what they should do is ban wrapping.
That might be a good idea.
And just have nice
Yeah.
gloves that fit nice
Yeah.
and tight. And that way you don't have 2 reasons. You're going to be able to grapple better because
Right.
you got more hand movement. And the other is you're going to have to pull off your punches a little bit.
What do you think about guys that would complain about having broken hands and they don't want to go in there without tape because they know that the chances are they're going to break their hands? Because, yeah, some guys, it might be because they threw way too many hard punches and that's why they broke their hands. Some guys might have broken it. Maybe they skateboarded when they were younger.
There's also a chance that you might break your tibia and fibula throwing an inside
That's
leg
absolutely
kick. Should
true.
we wear shin pads
That's
now?
true. That's true.
You know? I
Absolutely
mean,
right.
you're going in to fight. There's a chance you're going to get something broke.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The point is not to have it happen, right?
Yeah. Those... Yeah, that's the whole reason I think they should just get rid of
I agree.
with taping.
I agree.
Taping. Make it as natural as pure as possible. Mouthpiece, cup, gloves.
And you know what they need to do? Go back to the Pride gloves, where they had a little bit of a bend.
A little bit of a curve so you don't
like
get those
that.
eye pokes and stuff.
Yep, I like that. Plus, I love those gloves, man.
Right. I want them to go with. I used to have an old pair of Hayabusa MMA gloves that had no thumb
Okay.
in it. It was just literally just
Right.
4 ounces over the knuckle,
Right.
barely an open glove, and I like that because then you can grab jiu-jitsu and stuff. I think that's what they need to do.
Well, that's how the UFC gloves are.
Oh, are they?
They're
Are they no
thumbless.
glove
Yeah,
or
they're
no
thumbless.
thumb?
Yeah.
I thought they had the thumb pad on it and
No,
stuff.
it's just a circle, and then the
Okay.
thumb goes right over it. So yeah.
Pride had Pride didn't.
They didn't have
did
thumbs
they?
either.
It was just that big,
Yep.
and they came up farther, didn't they?
They did come up a
went
little farther.
just a little past that.
Yep.
That
Which
would
is
that be your second knuckle?
yeah.
Because your first knuckle's the big
The top
one, right?
one, right.
Yeah. The second knuckle, kind of just up to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those gloves.
I do too.
I feel like those worked good. I don't think you saw as many eye pokes in Pride either.
Mm-mm. No, because
Yeah, you can't extend it all the way.
yeah. And that's another thing. That's going to happen,
Absolutely.
How do you prevent that? That's something you can't prevent from happening.
You're launching hands at people's faces. I mean,
And a lot of people extend their hands to
Yeah.
push and create distance.
or
stuff
even
like
just
that.
to feel out.
Feel out, yeah. It's not always, you can't have your hand, your
No.
fist clenched,
No.
for 15, 25 minutes,
Right.
It just doesn't work out that way.
Yeah, you got to relax it a little bit. But yeah, I think that would be a good rule. Actually, that's a really smart idea. Is to take away the tape. But then again, not as many knockouts probably, or maybe more.
Maybe more.
Maybe more because people aren't throwing just power; they're throwing technique.
Accuracy and technique.
Yeah.
Yeah, could be. Last couple fights I fought in, I didn't tape my hands. I might throw a little bit around the wrist.
See, that's what
right
I would
here.
do. Yeah,
Just a little bit around the wrist, but nothing on here.
I would throw a little bit, but I would keep it pretty loose.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I wanted mobility, man.
Right. I want to be able to move.
Yeah.
I don't want casts.
Yeah, no.
I'm not putting casts on
No.
my hands. A lot of guys love to just brick them up
Yep.
hard.
Yep.
And when I tape hands, how do you want them? You want them,
Right.
How do you want them done up?
Yeah.
I'd either light tape and protect the thumb so it doesn't get caught,
That was my thing.
or
Yep, get
or
the thumb
just
protected.
brick them up to where, because all I know you're going to do is wang out there.
Yeah.
Get out there and close your eyes and start windmilling at people.
Right.
All right. Well, that's
But for jiu-jitsu especially, sometimes you need to get that curve to make hooks with your
Mhm.
wrist. And if you're taped up so hard, you can only use the
Yeah.
very top part of your fingers.
yeah. You can't get that pummeling
Yeah,
right. Or
now
you
your
can't
grips
get
are
that,
gone. Because you can't use an actual grip. You're too sweaty.
Yeah.
So you need some nice deep hooks, and you need to be able to curl that
That's
whole
something we
wrist.
need to work on is when we're no-gi,
Mhm.
actually gripping.
See, I'm a fan of hooks, man. I can't.
Well, I
get-
like hooks, but if we can hook and then turn that in, if you're taking a hook on, say, on the back of the arm, like the tricep, get those fingers in between the back of the tricep and the beginning of the bicep, right in between that muscle where that muscle separates, and get a hold of that
Right.
tricep. That's like
Yeah.
having a gi grip.
Here's
man.
my thing though: is I'm always defense first. Don't take punches to the face.
Right.
If I don't have that whole hook in, you can pull that arm out possibly. You might not
Possibly.
be able to, but with the hook in, I feel super comfortable.
Right.
Like you ain't getting that arm back.
Well, it's
and if you
comfortable
do, I feel
because
like
that's
it's
what we've been doing the
well,
whole time too.
no, but
you
I
know?
mean, like looking at it scientifically too, I feel like if I have this all the way trapped in, then I'm using a U shape basically to
you have a
trap the
high
arm.
amount of contact being
Right.
made.
And so
Absolutely.
I feel like as they slip out, if they are slipping out, I have more time to react.
Right.
And either then grab it or slip to a grab or rehook. Whereas if I'm grabbing and then they start slipping out, it's already too
It's
late.
already
They're
gone.
gone. So that's my whole thing. That's the only thing. And plus, I'm a small guy. I can't grip very hard unless you're tiny.
Right.
So I need hooks. You know
Well,
what
yeah,
I mean?
that's the thing is I'm not looking about like the difference between if I'm grabbing somebody's wrist or something. A lot of times we grab just like this,
Right.
but I'm talking about in there. This
Okay.
difference. from here.
It's almost
as a
pinching,
grab.
almost pinching your skin a little bit.
You're almost pinching the skin, and with the tricep, you're literally trying to thumb on this side and on this side. You could still hook. You can even go thumb on top and still hook, but get in there on top of it and get. You know how sometimes when you're on the wrist and you let that finger slip into the opponent's glove, and it gives you that extra. That's kind of like letting that finger slip in between that muscle and giving you something to grab onto.
True.
You know, and we don't do it in practice because it's really a fucking dick move because it hurts. You know, it hurts as bad as when your buddy fucking puts his knee on your arm fat, on your arm skin, and pinches it between the mat.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
It does suck.
That's the most painful thing in fighting.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Right? All the little things.
Right?
Yeah, pretty brutal. So let me switch gears real quick since we've been talking about MMA for a minute. Because we live in Michigan.
Yeah,
weather gets shitty as fuck.
It is now.
It just started snowing this week. Man, first day snow hits, people lose their fucking minds.
Just retard it.
Like, I hate, if anybody hates the winter, it's this guy. I can't stand it.
I think there's a long line to join you on that, you know.
But I've been living here long enough to where I understand when snow hits, logically, you can't drive the same you were driving the day before.
You're not hitting 70 miles an hour.
No, the nature of ice is it's fucking slippery, right?
Very.
Like, what?
Super.
Do people not think about that? I don't get the thought process.
I think it's
because how many accidents were on the highway the first day?
First day I probably passed 3 on the side of the road, just like, and I was almost guilty of it.
I heard, you told me.
And not bad. I mean, when I start out, first day snow, you know, as I'm walking out to my vehicle, ooh, it's crunchy, it's icy, it's cold. Okay, it might be slick. Back out of the drive, hit the gas, man. Get on it for a second. See if do I hear it squeal? Do I just spin on the ice?
Right.
And then once I get moving, jump on that brake and lock them up. See where I stop. If I'm, you know, and it was icy. So I got on the highway and started rolling. I was like, all right, 55. I'm cutting it down 15 miles an hour. There's not really ice on the road.
Right.
But at that point, you have your two extremes. You got your 80 mile an hours in the fast lane and your 25 mile an hours in the other lane. And at 55, which feels like a safe thing for me, you know, I'm not getting squirrely anywhere.
Right.
The wind's not blowing me across. You know, I drive that Jeep that's got that short wheelbase.
Four-wheel drive.
You know, and I got it in 4-wheel. You know, but fuck, I come up over a hill, man. Somebody's going 25. I try to get, oh shit, go in the other lane. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, right.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of idiots out there. You got one that's paranoid.
Yeah.
A paranoid to the extreme, and the other that's just don't give a fuck. Like, oh, I can do this. Both of them end up in the ditch.
Both retarded.
You know, both of them. And it's not like we don't deal with this every year for the majority of the year.
Yeah.
Like last year, it started snowing like what, November 1st?
Yeah, early November.
And didn't stop until April.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
It was awful. Yeah, it's not like this is a month. Like, you got a good amount of time to feel the situation out.
Yeah, we're not northern Florida,
right?
To where they get snow and everything fucking shuts down.
3 flakes.
We get 6 foot of snow and people are like,
still going to work,
I don't
right?
care. Yeah, we're open.
Yeah.
Do you have vacation left?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because if not, you're expected to be here.
Yes,
type of thing.
I don't think people realize that in other states that if we get so fucked up with snow that we can't drive, 80% of the time, you're still required to be at work.
Company's still open.
Yeah.
Company's still open.
More than likely, you're not closing. More than likely.
No.
Like, when I worked at the corporation, we closed maybe twice, 3 times in 8 years. It's awful, man.
Dude,
that's the only way I can make it.
I picture this guy just almost dark, you know, shadows behind him.
You don't even see his face, really?
You don't even see his face, and he's just in a black suit at his giant desk with probably some form of hungry wolf dogs on the side.
Right, and he's not even looking he's looking out the window.
Yeah.
So when you come in, you just see the back of his chair.
Yeah, he spins around
right.
Yeah.
Has an eye patch and a big
scar.
Oh,
and a scar, yeah. Might even be petting a cat, you know,
Right,
just evil.
right.
Just, yeah. But yeah, those companies...
We don't close, man. Not, like,
Never.
That doesn't happen. So, what they tell you is you can use your vacation time if you don't want to come into work. So now all of a sudden you're using your own personal time of the year that was supposed to be for you just so you don't die on the road.
Mm-hmm.
How fucked up is that?
Oh, it's crazy, dude. For the corporation I work for, the other corporation, they send people out daily. It's an outside job. And dude, like last summer, or last winter rather, you know, some of those days were sketch, and they're like, you're supposed to be out of here 10 minutes after the start of your shift to go pick up the first job. Why are you guys still here? Well, it's unsafe. No, it's fine.
Yeah, right.
Hit the road.
Yeah.
And you're expected to keep your quota. Hit your quota.
Oh, that's awful.
Oh, it's crazy, dude. And they answer you with, well, you know it's an outside job.
You know what you were getting into.
Yeah. You took this job.
They throw it on you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Nobody wants to take that responsibility, you know?
Well, you still got to make a buck when you're the corporation. They don't give a fuck about you.
A lot of bucks.
Yeah.
You know? Not just a buck. I'm okay with people making a buck. You know what I mean? I'm cool with that. It's the millions they have to make today, you know, type of thing. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
There's no need to be greedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, driving up here in the winter,
Awful.
And right about the time that winter breaks is when people start catching on.
Yeah, it takes about a month.
Yeah.
It takes about a month.
Takes a little bit of time. Once we start having knee-high snow,
yeah,
and it just stays, we're usually pretty legit at that point. But man, that first couple weeks,
awful.
They like people forget.
Yeah.
Completely forget.
Now, granted, I go slow in the winter. I'm a pussy in the winter. I don't drive if I don't have to.
I'm in no hurry to get anywhere.
Yeah.
So, if I...
But you know, that's
a
the
20-minute drive here. It's a 20-minute drive from my place to yours.
Here's the difference,
I leave 35, 40 minutes early then.
Exactly. But here's the thing for most people, and the situation that it was for me before is, right now, if it's shitty out, I can go in when I feel like it. If it's really shitty, I call my person up and I'm like, hey, we're doing this another day. It's not worth my life or your life to get a tattoo today.
Right.
And it'll still get done, right? Whereas, so now I don't, it's been a complete difference in my mentality of, where when I go, I'm in no hurry for anything anymore.
Why?
When you work for someone, though, and you have to be there at a specific time, now suddenly you have to go out on the roads, and you might have to go a little faster than you want to just to make it in on time.
Right.
I've had to do that
I've
plenty
been
of
there.
times. That's scary, dude.
I'm at the point now, though, once I know exactly how long it takes me to get to work, you know, say in good quality weather. I know it takes me 17 minutes to leave my house to get into that front door of the corporation. 17 minutes. And I leave 30 minutes early.
Yep.
So that gives me plenty of time. That gives me time to hit the coffee shop on the way if I want to, you know. But if I'm running behind on time, I'm just going to be late now.
Oh, is that how it goes?
You know what? I'm done rushing because that extra, if I'm going to be 3 minutes late, the rush that I try to put at the front, man, that could be the end of the race for me.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I'll come in third place. It's cool.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
race another day.
Right.
You know, because that's really, in the end, the race, the finish line's in a fucking box, man.
Yeah.
And I'm in no hurry to get to that finish line.
Right.
And, you know, the older I get, the closer I get to that finish line. So maybe I'm just going to walk the next few miles, you know?
I feel you. Just coast.
Yeah. No hurry. I can't be. I
feel you.
I know when it's time to fucking get in character, so to
Right.
speak.
Right.
And outside of that,
Dude, you know what's shitty, though, on that same note, is cops in the winter, man. Sometimes you get cool cops, sometimes you get bad cops. That's just how it goes with any interaction with a police officer, right? One year, I was going to work.
Fuck the police.
See, I like the police. I got so many police officer friends.
Oh, I bet you do.
They're cool as shit. There's also a lot of faggots out there.
Well, they're cool as shit in the environment that you get to see them in.
Yeah, that is true.
You put on that Superman cape. They put on that Superman cape. Sometimes they don a completely different personality.
That's true. That's true.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
I got some law enforcement friends myself that are legit good people.
Right.
So it happens.
Right.
But I just...
But sometimes you get douchebags. And
somebody
one time...
that got their lunch money taken one too many times in elementary school,
Yep.
and they're going to fucking show somebody.
Yep, they want to dish it back out.
Fuckers.
So one winter, I'm going to work. This was when I was working at the corporation. Going to work, and I'm hitting a stoplight, and I tap the brake, and I'm sliding. I'm not going to be able to stop in time. It was yellow turning to red, right? I'm like, all right, best decision here is just going to be to keep it going. Because if I stop, I'm going to slide through halfway of the intersection. The light's already going to be green on the other side by then, and then I could possibly get in an accident. You got to think of these things quick, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, boom, I'm just going for it. Boom. Saw a police officer out of the corner of my eye. I said, he's got to understand the situation, right? He's in the snow himself. He understands. Boom, I pass it. It turns red right as I go under it, right? I'm thinking, all right, cool. So it wasn't even that big of a deal. Keep going. Dude pulls me right over. And he comes over, and I'm like, how's it going, officer? He's like, do you know why I pulled you over?
Yep.
Yeah, I went through the light, but, I mean, it was so slippery right there. I tried to stop. I couldn't. And I just figured it'd be easier to just keep going because I didn't want to cause an accident.
Didn't want to stop in the intersection.
Right. Instantly, he just gives me a dick move. Well, you should have tried to stop anyway. Did you just not hear the words that just came out of my fucking mouth?
Where I tried to stop?
I just tried to explain to you why that wasn't feasible. But apparently that's not
the fact
happening.
that I attempted, saw that it was a failure,
Right.
and had to change course
Right.
instantly to avoid further damage, trauma,
Exactly.
issues.
And I'm always nice to police officers, so it's not like I was being a dick.
Yeah.
I'm never a dick. Unless I have been once, but they pushed me.
Right.
That's another
Right.
story for another day.
Right.
But I'm always nice. So I said, I just don't agree with that. I honestly, I saw you, so I didn't run it on purpose. I didn't look at you and go, there's a police officer, let me run a red light. That's ludicrous, right? So he says, all right, well, let me take your ID and your insurance. And so I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe he won't give me anything. He's just going to be cool
Just
about
run
it.
your tag,
Right,
make
right.
sure you're not rolling dirty and
Exactly.
shit. Yeah.
No, he comes back, he's like, all right, well, I'll give you the option of getting passing a red light or not wearing a seatbelt. Instantly, I look down at my seatbelt. I'm like, my seatbelt's on. He says, I know, but I got to give you something. How shitty is that? So you understand that you don't want to give me a ticket for what you pulled me over for, and you see my seatbelt. Isn't that the answer? I don't get a ticket? Isn't
Right.
that...
You had that option
Right.
of ticketing me or not.
Right. So obviously I took the seatbelt,
Yeah.
but that's
Well,
the kind
you
of
gotta
situation you get into.
Here's the thing, man. Tickets. Here comes my fucking jaded, government, conspiracy tinfoil hat coming on. That's a lot of revenue.
Oh,
But the
definitely.
police create revenue for the town. So to be able to pull you over, and he thinks he's squaring you away by giving you
Right.
the less ticket that's got no points and shit like that. Nah, man, he's still being a dick because he's still just writing a ticket. How about a warning?
There you go.
The situation, he saw what happened. He probably saw the wheels go,
Exactly.
nope, not happening.
Right.
I had a fucking situation. I was taking my daughter to her mom's. We're rolling up through Watervliet. I don't know if you get up there very
Yeah.
often, but there's that Westco
Yep.
up in Watervliet. Well, somebody was pulling into that Westco and pulling in at such a speed that it would have been faster had they got out of their vehicle, opened the door, and pushed it in. So there's kind of a turn lane, where when the lane goes just straight, one lane back before that kind of widens up.
Right.
So I hit around him. Saw the cop in Westco. He pulls me over for illegal passing. Solid yellow line. And I was like, I even told him, I was like, are you serious? Seriously? He's like, yeah, solid yellow line. I was like, honestly, I figured you pulled me over for the broken windshield. He's like, nah, I don't care about that, He's like, that's fine, but you can't do that. He didn't end up writing me a ticket, but he
Okay.
ran my stuff, and that's
All
cool.
right.
But man,
Still a little inconvenient.
literally, and again, always respectful.
Sure.
Here's all my stuff. Here
Yep.
you go. Yes, sir. when he told me that, I was, and it was that you got to be kidding me, not condescending.
Right.
Seriously, you can't.
Well,
do
you start
that?
acting too wild, and they think that you're dealing crack or something. You know, you can't get too wild on them.
You know, yeah, I'm a grown up, and I pride myself on the ability to communicate well with pretty much anybody. That's one of, if we're gifted in things, I'm not gifted with smarts or good looks or highly athletic abilities, but I'm able to, I wouldn't say hold my own, but I'm able to connect with the conversation and the person I'm talking to fairly quickly, so I can have a grown-up conversation. I can understand, I can see the point you're coming from, try to process that, and then I can come with my rebuttal or whatever, you know. I've always been able to de-escalate the situation and I wouldn't say stay in control, but at least have some semblance of control of the situation that's going in. So I can de-escalate it in a situation with the cop, or I can poke it, man, and I can get the bellows out and fan that fire, maybe because I want to just some dude's being a loudmouth and I'm just tired of it, and maybe I don't want to start the fight, so I can talk you into starting it.
Right.
Sweet, you know, and then we all feel better about ourselves.
That's
so
right.
There's my gift, I guess.
There you
the
go.
gift to talk shit, I guess.
That's a good gift, man.
Hey, not bad. Wasn't bad for a podcast either, eh?
Not bad. That's our time, folks.
Alrighty.
That was a fun one, though.
Yeah, man. Good MMA talk.
A lot of MMA on that one.
A lot of MMA.
A lot of people might be pissed about that, but catch the next one.
Yeah, we talk about anything, so it's kind of on you guys if you have any specific subjects. So we bring it. If you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. Loose Tooth Podcast.
Boom.